Welcome back to the Bison Information Network. I'm Logan Genneberg.
And I'm Ethan Birnbaum. Tonight we've got a lot of news, so stay tuned.
With Homecoming Week fully underway, that means it's time for all the festivities that come with it. The Blue Key Honor Society is hosting NDSU's annual Homecoming Show and Coronation later tonight. Come and see a showcase of student talent, enjoy the fun and festivities, and see who is crowned the 2023 NDSU Homecoming Royalty. The event will be held tonight at 7:30 in Festival Concert Hall. President Cook has been very busy with the new school year, but he will deliver a State of the University address tomorrow. With all the new changes in buildings going up around campus, there will be plenty of questions to ask the university president about how the university will move forward. The address will be streamed live tomorrow from 10 to 11 a.m. The stream is available at ndsu.edu/president.
Very few things in life matter more to a college student than food, which makes tomorrow's homecoming lunch even more exciting. Stop by any dining center tomorrow while wearing green and yellow, and you'll get your lunch for only $5. This is a great chance to bring your family or friends to experience what it's like to eat on campus, all while looking good in green and yellow. The lunch runs from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and applies to both dine-in and takeout. Since NDSU was founded in 1890, the rich history of our campus has largely gone undiscovered and underappreciated within and around the campus. If you or someone you know is a history buff, loves NDSU, or just wants to know a few cool facts about our campus, make sure to check out the NDSU Historic Tours event tomorrow, September 29th. The tour will meet up at the Harry D. McGovern Alumni Center east of Memorial Union. There will be one tour from 1 to 2 p.m. and another from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. Both tours will have walking and shuttle options available.
With the Bison playing on Saturday, that means yet another Fan Friday at the NDSU Bookstore. Stop by the Memorial Union Bookstore and get yourself some gear for game day, around campus, the upcoming winter, or just because. A 25% discount will apply to NDSU apparel and gifts for the entirety of the bookstore hours, so don't miss this chance. Take your green and yellow wardrobe to the next level.
While football may be the highlight of this weekend, the Homecoming Parade and Bison Bash are events happening on Friday that you will not want to miss. Kick Homecoming weekend off to a great start with inflatable games, a DJ, food trucks, and plenty of fun activities at the Bison Bash. The event will be held at Churchill Field from 4:30 to 8 p.m. Between all the food and fun, also make sure to head over and watch the annual NDSU Homecoming Parade. The parade is making its return to campus for the first time in over 10 years. It's an experience both students and alumni will enjoy. The parade will start at Friday at 5:30 p.m. When we come back, we'll take a look at some local and national stories.
My name is Becky Parker, and I'm a news anchor at WDAY-TV. I graduated from NDSU in 2010 with a degree in journalism, broadcasting, and mass communication technologies, and then I had an emphasis on broadcasting. Principles of broadcast production and advanced broadcast production. Those were favorites because they were the most relevant for career experience. You're calling people for interviews, you're writing an article. It doesn't just feel like an assignment, it's like actually doing it. I was the news director for the first full semester of the Bison Information Network. The BIN advisor here was very much invested in me to actually have a career in broadcasting. He helped me get my internship and my first job. The people in NDSU's Department of Communication are really interested and helpful in getting students the connections that they need in order to get a job beyond school.
No kid deserves to go hungry, but try as they might, not every family can afford to put food on the table every day. That's why the Great Plains Food Bank and their partner agencies work every day to bring food to our hungry neighbors. Every dollar donated can provide 4 meals for those in need. Go to greatplainsfoodbank.org and donate today so no kid in North Dakota ever has to go hungry.
Welcome back. Bad news may be on the near horizon for workers at Gwinner's Doosan Bobcat plant. A union leader stated that there may be hundreds of layoffs coming soon to Doosan Bobcat manufacturing plants across North Dakota and Minnesota. He reported that Bobcat informed the union about the approval and plan to build a facility in Mexico, which would impact 300 to 500 jobs. Fear are that the low wages will undercut workers and make it more difficult for those who are not laid off to acquire raises in the future. The union promises to do whatever it can to prevent job losses and to continue investments here in North Dakota. Doosan Bobcat commented as well, saying that there are no current plans to lower employment levels at its plants and that it continues to have open positions to fill. One person was killed Wednesday in a 2-vehicle crash in Norman County, Minnesota. State Patrol says an SUV was traveling west on a rural road when the driver collided with a semi headed north on State Highway 32. The driver of the SUV, a 61-year-old woman, died. The driver of the semi, 75-year-old Samuel Olson of Crookston, was not injured.
A murder suspect has been arrested and taken into custody near Mapleton. The arrest was a case of right place or right time as a trooper pulled the car over for an equipment violation. The driver of the car, 20-year-old Joseph Morrison of Auburn, Washington, had an active warrant for first-degree murder out of Des Moines, Washington. The woman in the car, 20-year-old Ajane Sancardier, was seen switching seats with Morrison after the car had stopped. North Dakota Highway Patrol revealed that the search of the car found a 9mm Glock handgun that was found disassembled and hidden. The pistol had been modified in a way that made it a fully automatic weapon. Sancardier was arrested and charged with possession of a machine gun and false information to law enforcement. Morrison was arrested for his previous warrant as well as possession of a machine gun. Both are currently in the Cass County Jail. Locals in and around the Fergus Falls area should remain on the lookout for a bobcat. The bobcat was seen walking on a city street on Monday evening in the northeast part of town. The city warned residents to be aware and to keep small pets and kids within views at all times. Adult bobcats can range up to 35 inches long, plus a tail that can be up to 7 inches. They are typically brown or gray on top and have a white belly with black spots. The bobtail is its recognizable mark, as it will appear like it has been cut off. Please report any sightings or information to the City of Fergus Falls or the appropriate law and wildlife officials.
Britney Spears is once again in the spotlight, but not for anything related to her music career. Spears recently had an interaction with the police after a video of her dancing with knives went viral. Many concerned fans' calls had prompted a police wellness check on the pop star. The concern over her video rippled through her fan base. Spears has since responded to the reaction, saying that not only is she fine, but the whole thing has been overblown. She states that she was simply copying Shakira after a video of her dancing with knives at the MTV Video Music Awards performance surfaced earlier this month. Spears also said that the wellness check went a little too far in a since-deleted post. Let's hope that this is just Britney being Britney, and that it's not the start of a new online trend.
Amazon has been sued in a history-setting case involving its monopolistic practices. The FTC and 17 states have filed an antitrust lawsuit against Amazon, the largest since President Teddy Roosevelt. The lawsuit alleges that Amazon inflates its online prices and overcharges sellers, abusing its position in the marketplace to stifle competition. The lawsuit is a result of a years-long investigation into the company's practices and one of the most significant legal challenges brought against it in its nearly 30-year history. The prosecution is asking that the court issue a permanent injunction that they say would prohibit Amazon from engaging in its unlawful conduct and loosen its monopolistic control to restore competition. This could turn into the case of our lifetime, with it having the potential to determine how other monopolies are treated in the near future. Up next, we have an interview from Professional Lunch. And after that, I will have your week in Bison Sports. Don't go anywhere.
We are back. We are at the Bison Information Network studio at NDSU today. My guest is President Rod Flanagan. Dr. Flanagan, thank you again for being here. Well, now we get to talk about some of the things that you love about your work. Please tell me, what are some of the things that you love about your work?
So, honestly, I love I love learning. I love the world of higher ed. I love what we do at NDSCS. I've mentioned, helping students get to the next place in life, whether that's leaving us going to work, leaving us going to a 4-year school. I love being around our faculty, our staff. We have tremendous people on our campus, and I love being around students. I often go eat lunch with students at the cafeteria, and I actually once a month, in fact just this week, I had students in my office. I buy them lunch, and it gives me an opportunity to talk to them, to chat. And I often ask them, what are we doing right? What do you love about NDSCS? And what can we do better? So those are things I love about our world. I love NDSCS because of the culture that we have. It's a 2-year school with a 4-year feel. If you come to our campus, it really feels like a college campus where most community colleges don't. They're more commuter schools. People drive in, they take class, they go home. That's not us. It's just like a normal campus where people stay on campus. We have strong athletic programs, strong performing arts programs, and students are engaged.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I like when you talk about student success, because this is another part of the conversation that I want to touch on, even though time is not on our side today. But we will talk about that after a little bit. But can you tell me 2 of the biggest accomplishments that you have in your professional life?
Biggest accomplishments?
What would you consider 2 of the biggest accomplishments?
Well, as a parent, it's always nice to see your children grow up and be successful in their own right. So to me, that is success. And my wife and I have some very successful children, so that's nice for us. Professionally, I've had just incredible opportunities. It's hard to describe everything. I mean, early in my career, I was an engineer on the Apache attack helicopter program. That was fun. Eventually, I got bored with it.
Okay.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot, and I still reflect on that time. But then as I changed into a different kind of career, it was fun and exciting when I was traveling a lot and doing a lot of work with Caterpillar, Case, John Deere, and it was exciting. I got to help them solve problems that they were having on their equipment, and so I've done some great things. I've got to see a lot of incredible things in my professional life, but I would say it wasn't always successful. One of my first jobs out of college, I was a young engineer and I messed up. I made a big mistake, and I thought it was all over. That was the end of the world. And I walked in. It was a Friday. I'll never forget it. It was a Friday. I came in that weekend to pack up my box, and I knew that I was going to be fired on Monday. I came in on Monday, and my boss wasn't coming to get me, and nothing was happening. And finally, I went to see my boss. I said, "Do we need to talk?" He said, "What for?"
Wow.
I said, "You know why?" He said, "Oh, that. Yeah, come on in." So he sat me down and he said, "What did you think was going to happen?" I said, "I thought I was fired. I thought this was the end." He said, "Well, let me explain something to you." And he explained that we have so in my little engineering group, there were 6 or 8 of us, and He said, every one of us has made the same mistake.
Oh.
So here's the lesson. Don't ever let that happen again. Got it? I said, got it. He said, so go do your job. And that was the end of it.
Oh my goodness.
And so the message to me was, mistakes will happen.
Yeah.
The question is, how do you respond?
Yeah.
And I think the message that I used to share with my students when I was teaching was, it's not if you make a mistake, but when you make the mistake, how are you going to respond? And do you have enough determination to get past it, to learn, to grow, and to move on?
One kid, one mentor, plus one moment can unlock limitless potential. One heart-to-heart, one inside joke. 30,000 youth are waiting. Be there for one of them. It's time. Become a big today.
The NDSU Bookstore has everything you need to show off your Bison pride. The bookstore can have you sporting green and gold wherever you go. It offers many different brands, sizes, styles, and selection so that you find exactly what you're looking for. Shop the NDSU Bookstore and show your spirit today.
Founded in 1985, the Missouri Valley Football Conference has established a tradition of FCS football excellence. Competing at the highest level of NCAA Division I, student athletes at its 10 institutions demonstrate character, passion, and integrity as they grow as a student, an athlete, and a citizen. The Missouri Valley Football Conference, where leaders are shaped and champions are forged.
There are so many great things to experience at NDSU. It's hard to pick one, but my favorite is
the people. They make it such a warm place. The Bison aren't just across the country, they're across the globe.
It's the perfect distance from home. The faculty are our biggest cheerleaders. Hands-on research experience. The affordable tuition.
All the opportunities to stay active on campus.
Real-world learning experiences.
Once I got on campus, it felt like home.
The Bison had the week off for football this past weekend, giving them a breather in the midst of their 4-game homestand. They will play host this homecoming week against the in-conference South Dakota Coyotes, who are 2-1 coming into this week. The Bison are still undefeated this year, with quarterback Cam Miller leading the way for them. Tickets are still available but going fast, so be sure to grab them if you have not already. The game will kick off at 1 p.m. and can be watched on ESPN Plus and ABC North Dakota, or can be listened to on the Bison Sports Network. Moving on to the other team playing host this Saturday, the volleyball team returns home after a road trip in which they split their games. On Thursday, the Bison triumphed over Oral Roberts to start their conference play on a high note with a score of 3-1. Junior Alexis Bowling paced the Bison with 16 kills to go alongside 3 digs and 4 block assists. Senior Allie Hinsey made her presence felt with her 7th double-double on the year, recording 13 kills and 16 digs. Finally, Kelly Johnson contributed heavily with her 44 assists to go with 5 kills and 5 digs. The Bison should have been riding high into the match last Saturday against the struggling 3-7 Denver Pioneers, but it was not meant to be, as NDSU was upset in heart-wrenching fashion to the tune of a 0-3 shutout loss, with every set being decided by just 2 points. Sophomore Ellie Barth topped the stat sheet with her 12 kills to go alongside 2 block assists. Allie Hinsey did a little bit of everything, with 11 kills, 2 assists, 4 digs, an ace, and a block assist. Lastly, freshman Ariana Bloom recorded a solid performance consisting of 5 kills, 5 blocks, and an ace. The Bison will be back in the Benson Bunker Fieldhouse for a pair of conference matchups as they host St. Thomas later tonight at 7 p.m. before hosting Omaha on homecoming Saturday at 6 p.m. With October fast approaching, it's getting to that part of the year where every single game matters for the women's soccer team. The Bison played 2 games at home, with Kansas City and Omaha traveling in. The action kicked off Thursday night with Kansas City, where the Bison opened the action with a goal in the 31st minute by Kelsey Callio. but it would be answered shortly into the second half with a goal in the 48th minute by Gigi Murr. The goals would halt there, as neither team was able to crack the goalies for the remainder of the match, resulting in a 1-1 tie. Senior Kelsey Callio led the scoring for the Bison with the lone goal of the day to go with her 2 shots, and junior Madeline Great was responsible for the assist on Callio's goal. After a performance with a ton of offense but not the best results, the Bison hoped to turn it up a notch against Omaha on Sunday afternoon. They fell behind, however, as Omaha would take the lead on a free kick in the 19th minute. Undisturbed, though, they rallied back with 2 goals within the next 5 minutes. They would lead into the half again, but just like Thursday, gave up the tying goal in the 48th minute. The game would also result in a tie, as neither team could score for the remainder of the game, just like Thursday's contest. Olivia Watson led the way, scoring the Bison's first goal. She also tallied 3 shots, with 2 of them on goal. And Kelsey Callio once again made her highlight reel, scoring her goal on her lone shot of the day. The Bison are now 4-3-4 and will head on the road, playing at South Dakota State later tonight at 6 p.m., and they will then head to St. Thomas on Sunday for a midday match at 1 p.m. Both the men's and women's cross-country teams were active this past weekend, participating in the Roy Griak Invitational held in Falcon Heights, Minnesota. The men struggled, though, finishing 14th out of the 18 teams at the meet with a compiled score of 361. Cal Baptist won the men's section with a compiled score of 46. Junior Simon Kaiser led the Bison for the AK with a time of 25 minutes, 35 seconds for 68th place. And senior Jake Arison took 84th with a 25:54 time. This marked the second straight season that Kaiser led NDSU at the Roy Griak Invitational. The women fared slightly better, finishing 12th with a compiled total of 303 points. Cal Baptist won once again, only edging Utah by a single point to win with 63 points. Freshman Logan Hars paced the Bison women in the 6K for the second meet in a row, running a time of 22:10 to finish 44th, and junior Reagan Baszler joined her top the team, taking 50th with a 22:12 time. Both teams will have a long and much-needed break, as their next invitational will be the Bradley Pink Classic on October 13th. Earlier this week, the men's and women's golf teams were active in 2 separate invitationals. Let's see how they performed. Starting with the men, the Bison put on a strong show, taking second in the Zach Johnson Invitational with a team score of 15 under par. NDSU was 8 shots behind champion Iowa State and just ahead of DePaul and South Dakota. Gavin Cronkite dominated the event for the Bison, taking second by scoring 206 to put him at 7 under par for the 3-round event. Jack Johnson tied for third with a 209 score with strong finishes in the second and third round, and Nate Adams tied for ninth with a 212 score to give the Bison 3 players in the top 10. The women, however, were not as successful as the men, taking 7th at the Coeur d'Alene Resort Invitational. However, it was a stellar showing for the women, led by several prominent players. Elise Hoven was a force for the Bison, recording her career lowest score with a 211, finishing 2 under par and taking 4th place. Leah Scar finished at 220 to take second for the Bison, and Nora Roberts had a strong third round to finish with a 222 score. The men will have the week off to gear up for the Bill Cullum Invitational being hosted in Samas, California. However, the women will be on the road again this week, traveling to Tacoma, Washington to take place in the Pat Lesser Harbottle Invitational. Well, that's all we have for sports this week. That means it's time for the weather with Henry. Henry, it's been warm so far this school year. Can we expect to see some more of that?
Thanks, Logan. We are looking at a cool week, NDSU, with highs in the 60s to 70s range and lows in the 40s to 50s range, so you might want to grab them sweaters. For homecoming game, we're looking at a pretty nice day, with a high of 64 and a low of 57. The perfect weather for a Bison win. In terms of rain, we're looking at chances tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so better start thinking about bringing a raincoat and an umbrella. That's all for weather. Back to you, Logan.
Well, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited to get out and enjoy that warm weather while it lasts over the next few days. That's all we have for news this week. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.